What's going on, guys, and welcome back. It is your boy Elio here with yet another account review. In today's account review we have HaileyMarie's account, so let's go ahead and get this party started. Alright, Haley, I've already went ahead and I was nosy on your account, as I am with everyone else's account, and I checked out your gem quality because that's something that you brought up when we talked on Discord. And what I'm seeing here is just this weird contradiction of gems that you have on your mons. Like, you're sacrificing stuff to have sets on your mons, but at the same time some of them hit the mark and then some of them are like, I'm not sure what's going on here, and this could be definitely impacting your performance for said mons, which may make things like golems or PvP or just regular PvE situations just more difficult for you because those mons are lacking proper gems or proper understanding of the gems to do that. And the good news is that that's super duper easy, so hopefully we can address that, but I figured I would bring that up immediately. So in terms of gem quality, it's not bad, but I don't know, there's something on my tongue. It's not good either, to be honest with you, but that's okay. You came to me, we're gonna go in and work on this right now. So for example, I wanted to bring up your fire succubus as number 1. Looks like you're working towards getting her on a Bastion set. She's obviously Evo 3. You have a super evolution going on. You do have another book for her, which I'm sure if you had more gold, you would already invest in her. Trinkets are untouched. You're level 48. It's not the end of the world. But if we go over here and take a look at her set real quick, she has an HP gem on her. Okay, that's fine. She has an attack gem. Okay, that's fine. And then we go to another attack gem. This attack gem does have crit rate on it, which is fine. And you're putting her on a Bastion set, but especially with Bastion, if you're going to use it on a mon, at least in my opinion, I'm sure others would agree, I would try to make it a little bit more offensive if possible, because you do have that hopefully 1 or 2 turns depending on whatever mon attacks your mon to hopefully get some damage in there. Like, you can run it offensively if you want, you can also do it defensively, but you're running HP attack, which isn't a big problem unless we go over here and click on this. HP Siphon, critical hits restore own HP. Defense down, critical hits lower the enemy's defense for 2 turns. Her crit rate is sitting at 31%. Meaning, you know, there's at minimum a 1 1/3 chance of her during her turns, not even counting resists from the other mons, of her abilities actually working. So essentially you're having a mon that is just a paperweight, because not only is her HP Siphon not proccing, so she can't self-sustain herself, but if she gets her 5-star skill off once she hits maximum SP, there's a 1 1/3 chance, not even counting resist, that it's going to actually work. So definitely address that issue right there, because it looks like you're investing in your fire suck, and unfortunately this set isn't the play of the game. I'm not a fan of fire suck at all, but this set in itself is not the play of the game. If you need help making sure that a mon hits their required crit amount for them to be considered reliable, put them on an intuition set. Crit rate, attack, HP, crit rate, whatever on an intuition set. It is the easiest set for you to get max crit, so your mon can perform the way that it should. Next up though, I did want to move on to your light Indra as just another example to kind of help you out with gem sets here. And here's your light Indra. Once again, you're on, like, what is this, a fortitude or something? Yeah, the fortitude set, which adds plus 150 flat defense. Does absolutely nothing. Like, set is 100% worthless. But we're not going to get into that. But if you take a look at him, he has some HP on him and some attack. 7% crit rate. Not saying that you have to build a light mon with crit rate, but he is a light mon with a high attack stat. And he has Predator, and he has Morale Boost, so he's technically a wave clearer, at least in my opinion. I would build him with crit rate to get some more damage out of him. So number 1, this set I would just destroy. Not right now, but once you get something better, I would immediately take him off of this set. And you're running with an attack gem. This has some resist on it. That's fine. Attack gem, some more resist on it. Once again, that's fine. I would definitely love to see some crit rate up there. And then you have an HP gem with some attack, a little bit of resist, little bit of crit damage, but no crit rate at all. your light Indra is underperforming because you have chosen to basically compromise with giving him a full set that definitely just does no good to his abilities. No good at all. Like, you could throw him on a broken set with crit rate, attack, have the attack gems have some crit rate subs on them, and he should be at max crit, if not near max crit. If you want to have him on a set, you could at least put him on Valor, like crit rate, attack. You could put him on Intuition, crit rate, attack, Ruin, crit rate, attack, etc. Like, there's a lot of options here, and you're just putting gems on him for now, which I understand that you're just putting gems on him to have him usable at this point in time. But especially 48, you're coming up on 50. It's time to start honing in, especially on wave clears that you can use for pretty much all of the game and that you'll be using every day. It's time to, like, either just sacrifice some other Mon gems and throw it on him because you're going to be using him every day all the time. He's already Evo 3, just to get him up to par, so it helps you build up other Mons because your runtime comes down. That's another suggestion I would say. Like, take a look at your gems once again. Take a look at his attack stat. You can ignore the attacker thing right here because it's not always a good indication. For most part, it is a good indication, but not always. And yeah, you need to really address that issue. And then there's one other Mon I wanted to bring up once again. Not sure that you use her because she is level 50, but your Miho, she is on a Valor set. I saw that and I was like, we got grenades, man. We got grenades. She's on a Valor set, number 1. Let's go over here. Let's take a look at her stats. She has plenty of HP. Attack and defense are dirt nasty low. Not a big deal here. She is a dark type, so in theory she could use some crit rate. Is it necessary? Not at all, but in theory she could use some crit rate. Let's take a look at her skills. HP aggression on both skills. Okay, so attack power becomes proportional to own max HP. Attack has nothing to do with her skills. Her skills scale off her HP only. So why is she on a Valor set that raises up her raw attack when she doesn't pull from that stat at all? And then I click on this and she has like an attack gem, and I was like, boys, huh? Am I missing something here? Crit rate gem? Okay. HP gem. Attack gem on a HP aggressor? Not saying that you use her. Maybe you don't use her, but this is just an example that a lot of people fall into a trap to, of where you have a set, you like crit rate, HP, you know what, I'm gonna throw attack gem on her. But the set literally makes no sense. Literally makes no sense. I will have a video coming out later, hopefully this month, addressing some of the gem issues with a lot of accounts and giving a broad overview of things. But once again, if you're going to build them on, especially on sets, number 1, take a look at their stats. Number 2, read their skills. Maybe you just like, you're just throwing a set on them, but make sure you read their skills. And number 3, then assess your gem situation. If you have the gems to do a full set and it doesn't, it's not terrible, go ahead and do it. But if you don't have the gems to do a full set, I would have taken this attack gem off, so that way the Valor set isn't even complete, and I would have put on another HP gem for now, just as a broken set, and just so I don't run into the situation. But I wanted to bring that up in terms of gem quality, and hopefully that kind of gives you some insight into like a gem set. Like for Dark Miho, for example, I would put her on a life set, I would put her on an intuition set, I would put her on anything but a set that raises up her attack, because she doesn't need attack, she needs HP. You can even put her on a protection set if you want to give her a little bit more defense, but obviously have her triple HP. There's a lot of different sets you could put her on, but Valor would not be one. But anyways, you guys, let's go ahead and move on to the next part of the review. Alright, moving on next, we have some PvP action here. It looks like you're running pretty much just wave clearers right here, which I know a couple of you guys on some past account reviews have stated that lower level PvP is all about nuking, and you are correct about that. But what I try and do is try and give you a PvP offensive setup and hopefully defensive setup that is going to have some longevity to it, because I'm not saying that you can't use nuker builds, especially later on in PvP, but it's very, very Mon situational, and I find that crowd control is just easier for everyone, especially beginning off, to do a crowd control build for PvP versus a nuker build, unless you actually know what you're doing. Just FYI. But I mean, as far as this goes, it's perfectly fine. You're taking advantage of his lead right there. Nothing wrong with that, and hopefully it's working out for you. I do have another offensive suggestion though that you could use for your PvP team, and this pretty much follows what I've been doing on a lot of accounts, where we're just focusing heavily on CC in this scenario where nuking doesn't really work out. So this is just another option that you can have in your tool belt to use if you come across some pesky mons. And it's pretty simple. There's nothing extravagant here about what's going on. If I could just find the last mon. So for one of your offensive teams, I was thinking obviously your Light Zephyros, Light Yuki, Light Wild Fang, and then Dark Cupid. Dark Cupid is there just to soak up aggro from the light mons that you may be attacking. Light Wild Fang is there as a debuffer and also a shocker for additional damage of Yuki. And then Light Zephyros is there with resistance down to hopefully provide the ability for Light Wild Fang and Light Yuki to get their debuffs off quicker and more reliable. And once, you know, resistance down has been applied, hopefully he can get his shock off as well. So you have 3 mons with shock on their 5-star skill, and then you also have a shielder, hopefully, that can get a shield up and help protect especially the precious Light Yuki from sustaining damage enough to kill her. That's the theory here. Is it the best team in the world? Absolutely not, but it does give you a taste of, you know, maybe nuking won't work in this situation. Maybe I should just try and CC them out the A word. But that's just a suggestion. You can also do another one compared to your first offensive team right here, where we could go a little bit more nuker-ish, but it's not super duper necessary, and that's literally just dropping either Light Zephyros or Light Wild Fang and bringing in your Dark Mona instead. That way you have kind of like a 2-and-2 setup here, where you have like a nuker, but you also have some CC mixed in there. And this could potentially backfire though, because if Dark Mona gets aggro, she might end up dying. But if Dark Cupid gets aggro, everything's good. You still have a nuker right there. You still have the ability to CC and kind of control the other mons, which is perfectly fine. And I think a setup similar to this would work out for you quite well. One other honorable mention though is you do have a Light Pip. Do keep that in mind. And Light Pip has what? SP Siphon and something else? SP Siphon and Predator. Light Pip isn't the world's best mon, but once again, if you're in a scenario, especially if you're running like an all light comp where you throw in your Light Wild Fang as well, with Light Pip, as long as Light Pip can survive, that's another ability to basically crowd control other mons, because you can control if, you know, Light Purse is going to get her 5-star skill off on the next turn by having Light Pip go ahead and attack her and prevent her from getting her 5-star skill off on the next turn at the end of the round. So that's another way to try and control the battlefield. So it's really up to you to just test and experiment what works out for you in that situation, because it's not uncommon to switch PvP teams depending on who you're fighting, which is where a lot of players have a lot of fun at. But if you're just a filthy casual like me, you just hit auto and you run the same team and you just watch them lose or win, and it doesn't really matter in the end. Alright, defense wise, you do have a lot of mons to choose from. So my thoughts on your defense team was obviously mixing things up and providing elements of all kinds here. So we're having your Light Suck, because Light Suck is awesome as a defense mon. She's not OP, but paired her up with the right mon, she can be annoying. So we're rocking Light Suck. There's Dark Cupid there once again as your shielder. Light Suck is the SP/HP battery. Fire Artemis is there as the tank, just to make things super duper annoying, because she has what? Stun and taunt? Yep. She has stun and taunt. 80% chance for 2 turns is pretty poggers as a 3-star skill. And then for the last one, even though he's not up here, I was thinking about putting in your Wood Indra that you have in your box there. Obviously he would need to be Evo 2, but he would provide another CC and another element that you can use. Now I do understand that Fire Draka does exist, and there's just other mons that could CC your mons anyways, but that way you have like a nice mix of mons that are super duper annoying, especially with Dark Cupid being tanky, Light Succubus being tanky, Fire Artemis being tanky, and Wood Indra being also tanky, where there's CC coming around or something annoying coming around all around, which is pretty much the goal for PvP, just to be as annoying as possible. Now you could also throw in, as you can see, for example, a Water Wild Fang if you want, in your party setup just to make it annoying and add in a water mon versus wood Indra. But I do feel like wood Indra, like right now, is just slightly underappreciated. He's not a bad mon, especially since Draka is not on its way out, but Draka isn't as prominent as it used to be depending on what you're fighting. But wood Indra could be a interesting treat for you, and that's just a suggestion. If not, feel free to add in a water wild thing or another mon of that nature. I would just try and mix it up a bit. Like, don't give people something just to focus on because you have all light mons or all dark mons for your offensive team, unless it's just a wombo combo of just nasty gemmed mons on like Pugilist or something crazy like that. But that's my suggestion for your defensive team. And yeah, we're going to go ahead and move on to the next part. Alright, so we're back over here at Tower of Chaos because this was another thing that you're having an issue with, and it is apparent why you're having issues with it. Like, for instance, your Fire Succubus is a no-go. She is like, there's 2/3 of a chance of her being absolutely useless and just a paperweight due to her current gym setup. But it looks like you've made it past floor 100, so that's a lot better than many at this point in time. But my suggestion to this is, since you already have a good understanding, I'm not going to focus too much time on Tower of Chaos. But what I would do is I would probably drop your Fire Succubus because the way that she's built right now isn't worth the squeeze. Like, that orange, just, it's not worth it, man. It's not worth it. I would go ahead and slide in your Dark Cupid instead, though, and hopefully have him provide a shield to your other mons. That way, if they're sustaining damage, which I understand that Curse is a bit rough to deal with, hopefully he can get his shield up to prevent them from having damage. If not, if the shielding does not work, what you could do is hopefully bring in another nuker. That way, all of your mons can focus on, I'm going to go ahead and bring in Dark Pegasus for example. Hopefully all your mons can focus on taking out one Jiangshi at a time, and Curse will be there, and it is unfortunate, but bringing in like Suck is just a death wish because they're going to just blitz that girl down immediately. But that's my suggestion. You can even bring in Dark Fib because he can heal the squad as well, but I would just focus on bringing down one mon at a time, and if you have to, feel free to throw out one of your weakest damage dealers and bring in a mon that's capable of doing defense down, like your Fire Yuki instead. That way you can do defense down. You know that Dark Mona and Dark Fibian may be able to take out that one Jiangshi, and then Fire Draken can get on to the next one, and just repeat that pattern. Your goal is just to nuke these guys ASAP, well, nuke these girls ASAP, and move on. And if you have issues coming up on the later floors, once again, just do the similar setup of where you run like a nuker comp. If not, bring in some CC, and like I've provided already with the PvP side of the account review, you could also just bring in your full CC squad and do what I do and just CC from 1 to 120. Like, I don't touch a button other than freaking start the auto battle, come back, congratulations, Tower of Chaos is over. Alright, here we are with Golems B11. Now, this is a problematic dungeon for you because I just ran a test composition just to see how well your mons will perform, and the issues once again stem from the gems and the lack of trinkets. You are level 48 attempting B11. You have the mons to do so, but you need the gems and the enhancements to make sure that things work out. My suggestion is to go ahead and keep your light Indra, make sure you fix him, put him on crit rate attack. Obviously, in-game build for him would be crit damage attack, but we're not there yet. We gotta take baby steps. Crit rate attack, doesn't matter if he's on intuition. You could put him on valor, you could put him on ruin if you have the gem sword, but do not compromise. Do not compromise putting him on a crappy intuition set if you have a broken set that could do the same exact job of intuition without the need to have the added crit rate bonus of intuition. Just FYI. But we're going to have Light Indra as a wave clearer. Fire Draka is another wave clearer. Water Miho will be your sapper up in here, so she needs to be level 60. Make sure she's booked up. Super evolution isn't necessary. And then I would say go ahead and slide in another sapper, at least in my opinion. I prefer 2 sappers, 2 wave clearers for B11 because you could always take this team and drop it down to B10 and run that for right now, which may be a better idea for you, to be honest, because I don't think the stats are really there for you at the moment for you to be running B11 reliably. But if you're going to do a B10 team similar to the B11 team, you would have your Miho, Fire Draka can stay. I would insert another sapper here, and you would just take out your Light Indra and go ahead and drop in your preferably betterly gemmed Dark Mona if I can find her. Obviously level 60, you can super evolve your Dark Mona, perfectly fine with that. Skill books, etc. Gems need to be pristine, if not getting to that pristine level. And congratulations, you now have a B10 team. Focus on running this for a couple months, but depending on how much you play, focus purely on your golem teams first. That way you can get your golem B10 team and your golem B11 team at optimal settings, so you can then run golems to gem up your other mons, which will then help out everything else. Like, focus on the money makers and the gem makers first before you spread out your focus on anything else. Very, very important tip for you right there. But that was my suggestion for you for B10 and B11. Do keep in mind that you do have a Dark Arthur, sorry that I'm going back and forth, that you could pop up in here as well if you wanted to do that. Like, you could drop your Light Indra and run in here with your Dark Mona and your Dark Arthur. If I could find your Mona. Where's Dark Arthur at? Well, for time's sake, so the video won't take 3,000 hours, you could run Dark Mona, Dark Arthur, Water Miho, Fire Dragon. This will put pressure on Dark Mona, but hopefully Dark Arthur can soak up the damage. And while this isn't optimal, this could circumvent your sapper issue until you either get lucky with pulling another sapper, or you farm out another Water Miho, Wet Yuki, Wet Sea Star, I guess. And yeah, that's pretty much it for golems. And then last but not least, you also mentioned Titans, so we can go and wrap this up here. Unfortunately for Titans, you don't really have enough Fire Mons. Well, technically you don't have enough dedicated Sea Strikers for Fire Mons to make it even worthwhile of me trying to bring out a potential Titan lineup for you for right now. So I would hold off on Wood Titan for right now. I would at least like a Fire Shinobi, if not 2 at the very minimum. I would even take a Fire Shinobi and 1 Fire Xiao Jing, but you're level 48, it's not the end of the world. You can always pull Fire Mons, you could always pull a Fire Shinobi after this video. Who knows? So I would skip out on Wood Titan for now. It's really not worth the squeeze. Same thing for Fire Titan here. Once again, no dedicated Sea Strikers at all to really focus on that. I mean, you could pick up some Water Sand Wraiths, but once again, no dedicated Sea Strikers. Why would I tell you to invest in building up all of these mons for Water Titans when there's no Sea Strikers at all? We could always do a revisit of your account once you get some more Sea Strikers and address this issue more thoroughly, but at the moment, at this point in time, it's not worth it, boys. It is not worth it. For Water Titan, though, you do have enough mons to do a Water Titan team, and just to make things simple, I'm going to go ahead and just drop that team right here into the video. Once again, left side boys and girls will be the debuffers, right side Sea Strikers. Now, left side and right side both need healers, so left side debuffers and healers, right side healers, and then courageous strikers, unflinching strikers, using whatever that you have. And then moving on here, for Light Titan, I didn't really see, Dark Mons, and that's something that everyone struggles with because there's just not enough. At 48 though, you could always work on picking up some Siegfrieds, well, Light Siegfrieds in the future for Colossus, and that gives you another Sea Striker. There's also Light Boltwing and stuff like that, and I understand that I said Light Titan, but you got to use what you can use. You could always just bound together all your Sea Strikers though, and try and go in there to get a little bit more damage out of there, and hopefully increase your Titan ranking in your guild. But for Dark Titan, you do have a Light Gilgamesh, which is pretty cool. That's pretty pog. He's at Evo 2. Once again, his gems need to be fixed. They're not super duper bad at all because you have him with an attack, crit rate. But obviously, once you get some gems from B10 or B11, we can handle that issue once it arrives. But once again, I'm just going to drop over here in the video my suggestion for part of your Dark Titan team. And hopefully we can flesh out some more mons for you in the future, just to work towards as you're playing the game more, to fill out your Titan roster until you get either more courageous strikers or more unflinching strikers. Now, would I invest in would I invest into the Sphinx for you? Absolutely not. I would only pick up like free to gather unflinching strikers like a Water Sand Wraith team or something like that, because you can easily farm those out, release those guys once you get Water Balronas or Water Indra, Water Hades, etc., and not feel bad about it because you didn't throw away 64 Nat 4s to get an Evo 3 Sphinx with subpar performance. But yeah, hopefully this Titan team suggestion helps. Once again, your boy is not an expert at Titans at all. My Titan damage in Kaizen is actually garbage. Now, it's not bad, but it's average because I'm an average player. But a little bit of notes to leave here though for your Titans team. It's basically what I would do just to fill out your roster for Titans. Like I stated before, I would pick up one more Woodphibian, get him to Evo 3, skill booked up, HP defense works fine. I would pick up at least minimum of 3 more Evo 3 Hanas, which is a slow crawl. But even if you have 3 Evo 2 Hanas, Wood Hanas, let me specify that. Moving on, that's going to help fill out your water team for Titans, which is one of the teams that you can hit, which can give you more leverage for a second row whenever that time comes, because my suggestion is only for 1 row for both Water and Dark Titan. So 3 more Wood Hanas, Evo 3 preferably. I would pick up another Mini Cat once again to help you fill out for your Water Titan setup. And then I would work on finishing up your Fire Cure that you have for future Titan setups in case you pull a Fire Shinobi or Fire Xiao Wujing, or you get another Fire Wukong, just to give you a little bit more traction with your Titan team. So once you pull those Courageous Strikers, it's like, hey, I already have all of these mons sitting about right now. They're good to go. Let me finish up my Courageous Striker. Let's do a revisit with Elio or get some help on the Discord. Congratulations, you're doing all kinds of damage on the Titans. All kinds. But alright guys, we're going to go ahead and wrap this video up here because I've taken up enough of your time. Haley Marie, I definitely hope this video helps you out quite a bit. If you need any more help, feel free to message me on Discord or check out the Discord channel if you guys haven't already, because we have a bot that's free to use that's really helpful for comparison's sake for anything going on in the game. And as always guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.